Then how about this? I am a servant of this mansion, and as such, I am familiar with the many incidents that have taken place here. I shall show you the history of this house, master. Let us be off then, and fear not. I merely entreat you not to let go of my hand. Should you hold it tightly, you need not worry about being washed away by the waves of history. No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand. Hello and welcome. I'm Ash Mannix, and this is the house in Fata Morgana. In the last part of the playthrough, we were getting what is called the maid's story and finding out what happened with Giselle after Michelle, I've been calling Michelle, Michelle, after he died, and how she had to lead a life as the maid as we know her now. And we saw how her go through what was the first story in the game with the Rhodes family, the brother and sister of which was Nellie and Mel, I believe, and how when the white-haired girl came to the house, to the mansion, Giselle saw Michelle in her, and was convinced that she was Michelle reconstructed. By then she had forgotten what Michelle had even looked like. If Michelle was a man rather than a woman, it didn't matter. Just like she looked like Michelle with the red eyes, the pale skin and the white hair, and was convinced it was him. And when Michelle didn't recognize Giselle, she was crushed. And then she had to see the love blossoming between the white-haired girl, who we now know is called Michelle, and Mel, the young boy who became a young man in the story, and then how that kind of ended tragically. And we're probably gonna go back through the previous stories with the white-haired girl featured that we've been through before, and see everything from the maid's perspective. Yeah, we also saw that the maid had spent time with the grandfather of the two kids, of Nellie and Mel, and kind of what had happened with him when he'd first kind of took over the mansion and taught Giselle how to be a quote-unquote proper maid in the current time. And that was quite a sad story. It had a sad ending to his life as well, which was actually quite touching. This is something. This is definitely something. This is really good. So I'm just gonna munch on need something sweet to keep me going. But I suppose enough blabbering. Let's just get into this. Hide my face. And we're going into Descent, the second visitor. Also, the Witch Morgana is a total arse, I just want to say. Right, so we've gone to... That was 1603 with Mel and Nellie, and now we're going to 1707. Little remains to be said about my broken self. But as I stated before we began, this is the maid's tale. So I would like to take this opportunity to elaborate on events I was unable to show you before. That is, if you can bear listening to such a dismal, miserable story. Oh dear. Oh, this second story was with the guy that would, that was a monster, wasn't he? He was like a wolf. Or something. Or he's possessed or something. I already told you of my meeting with the beast, so I will begin the second tale from here. After Bestia slaughtered the merchant who showed up at the mansion, his mad laughter echoing through the halls. Oh dear. Mad laughter. Wait, how long does this go on for? This is a lot of mad laughter. What did I give him? Did you hear that? Did you hear his screams? He said I was a monster. A mutilated body lay sprawled across the living room floor. As you can imagine, that was my first time ever seeing such a bloody, mangled corpse. I could not look directly at it, so I averted my eyes. Ah, yes, he was actually the person. Yeah, he had, his story was weird. He was at sea, and I think he had fallen off the boat, and then when he landed in the town, they treated him like crap, and somehow they treated him like an animal or something bizarre. And he became a monster. And it turns out he wasn't a monster, he was human, which was just a human with him acting like a monster. Hey, you saw it. I just proved that beasts are stronger than humans. Indeed, you did. Ah, I know. I've got a great idea. You asked if I wanted to become the master, and I said I did. Which means you work for me, isn't that right? So you'll do whatever I tell you to do, won't you? What would you have me do? Chop up his arms and legs and make a stew out of him. My God. And don't you hesitate, or you'll end up like him. Yes, Master. He's trying to assert his total dominance over me. That's not proper behaviour for the Master. Although, I am the one who offered him the role. Do it. He's an utterly mad beast. But am I really all that different? There's blood all over my hands. This is gross. Sounds like someone's laughing. Is it him? Or is it her? No matter what happens, it won't affect me. The cocoon is not the real me. Oof. I was looking down at what could only be described as a pile of human debris. I had done this, but that fact did not register with me. I felt nothing at all. Not regrets, not anger, not sorrow or despair. Put it on the fire. He said he traded spices. That should give him a very unique flavour. How am I supposed to work with this? I was quite simply puzzled. No one had ever made such a request of me in my hundreds of years at the mansion. That's all I was. Puzzled. But he interpreted it as hesitation or fear. So he grabbed me by the shoulder, knocked me to the floor. And skewered me with that curious blade of his. For the first few moments, he wore that deranged grin of his. As the seconds passed, it slowly transformed into shock. Not a drop of blood spilled from my breast. The instant he realized it, I saw revulsion in his eyes. Him, of all people. A man who cackled as he slaughtered others was disgusted by a mere maid. It was absurd. So much so I almost wanted to cry. You. Is that all, Master? Are you not going to dismember me? You could try stabbing my face, or my neck, or my stomach, or any other part of me. Maybe then I might die. Oh, no, don't look at me like I'm some exotic creature. Stop that! Quit laughing! Why should I? My only distinctive feature is my smile. I have nothing else. My hands are covered in blood, but I can still smile. It's ridiculous. I get it now. You're the witch, aren't you? Ah, I see. Only monsters ever had a place here. Every so often I hear a woman's voice in my head. That's you, isn't it? You're the witch. Monster, witch, maid. What am I? Who is Giselle? Michelle said she was spirited, true to herself, that she often laughed and cried and shouted. But I don't know anyone like that. I'm just a maid, nothing more than a servant. The woman's voice he had said he heard was probably the real witch's, but I had no interest in that. I almost would have preferred not having to think about anything at all. Nothing would cause me to waver if my head was empty. A world without joy or sorrow sounds quite wonderful. But nothing ever went the way I planned, for the white-haired girl whom I thought I would never see again appeared before me once more. I was quite nearly in a panic. Beneath my perfectly practiced smile was a veritable storm of emotions. Faint hope flared up within my shell. Perhaps this time Michelle would remember me. But that hope was, unsurprisingly, in vain. Is someone there? Yes, I came by to ask if there was anything you needed. I cannot offer you anything extravagant, not like before, but I am here to provide you with anything in my capacity. I appreciate the offer, but I need nothing. Being allowed to stay the night is more than enough. Do you work here in the mansion? Yes, indeed I do. I have been here for a very, very long time. A very long time? You might think this an odd question, but... Have we met before? Something about you seems familiar. And I get the feeling I've been in this mansion before. Yes, we have met. It was quite some time ago, though. When was it? It was an unimaginably long time ago. Do you remember a boy and a girl with flaxen hair? Flaxen hair? I apologize. My memory fails me. Do you not remember me either? I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember anything this time either. But I will not be so pushy this time. I could not bear to be so blatantly rejected again. I see. You should probably not push yourself to remember then. There were joyous times, and there were less than joyous times. But would you be so kind as to answer one question? What might your name be? My name? My name is Michelle. White hair, red eyes, and the name Michelle. Why must you continue to bring me pain? Why can you not set me free as you're supposed to do? I see. So you are Michelle again. Again? You should get some rest. I will make tea for you in the morning. Also, go on. Close your eyes. The white-haired girl lay so quietly in her bed I could not tell whether she was asleep or awake. Even the sound of her breathing was too faint to hear. Standing over her, looking down at her, the locked-away despair and wails of lamentation I thought myself no longer capable of came bubbling back to the surface. But can you honestly blame me? I had been waiting for Michelle for so long. She was the one thing holding me up. She was the only thing keeping my broken self from falling apart completely. Yet she claimed not to remember me. Did you pity her, having to go through tragedy after tragedy? But every time she showed up, she said she did not know me, bringing me more and more grief. I had been waiting for hundreds of years. Waiting for her so long, my mind slipping away with every passing day, waiting and waiting and waiting. My apologies. I have to be careful or I'll slip back to what I was then. If you weren't here holding my hand now, Tell me. You are Michelle, aren't you? That's a relief to hear. Yes, thank you. I'm alright. Do you think I'm as muddled as I feel? Let us return to the tale then. You don't know what it feels like. You don't know how much it hurts for someone you've waited so long for to say they don't know you. You have no idea how much it crushes me. Rather than feel like this anymore, maybe I should just end it all with my own hands. I reached my hands out towards her slender neck. I was not an especially strong woman, but I thought even I would be able to suffocate her with relative ease. She was blind. At that, she wouldn't be able to run. I mean, that's an assumption, but still. However, that was one thing I could not bring myself to do. I can't do it. Wow, you're honestly contemplating killing her just to... Wow. I ran and I ran and I ran, though I knew I had nowhere to run, plunging myself into the mansion's darkness. I did not want to be there any longer. I did not want to have anything to do with her. But being an inhuman inhabitant of the house, I could not close my ears or plug my ears to what had happened within its walls. I could not close my eyes or plug my ears to what happened within its walls, as much as I may have wanted to. It didn't matter where I was. I had no say in the matter. I was forced to observe the events until their tragic conclusion. Twisted, bloody madness. Their wretched wails creating a whirlwind of misery. When it was all over, Morgana cackled like a little girl. Go on, you have a laugh too, my dear. There's nothing in the world better than this. He was a beast through and through. And what a fool he was to think he could become human. I love it. He destroyed everything he had with his own hands, and then couldn't even imagine to mourn for it. Quite the unfortunate fate, wouldn't you say? Go on, laugh with me. Laugh with me, my darling, devoted Giselle. Michelle is dead too, though. You're worried about that tiny little detail? She'll show up again, of course. So you don't need to worry about a thing. You don't need to feel bad about any of this carnage. Rest easy, my darling, devoted Giselle. If you say so, then I shall not be concerned. Yes, that's good. Laugh. Laugh, my dear. Oh, it's like 160 odd years. I apologize for making you listen to my dreadful stories for so long. You must be quite weary of them by now. But worry not, for this is the final one. And despite being the end, it is neither dramatic nor exciting. It was a single phrase, the most insignificant of things, that caused me to completely lose myself and forget I had, long ago, been the woman called Giselle. There was no malice in it. It was but a simple greeting. Do you remember how, the first time she arrived, Michelle said I had a peculiar presence about me? She felt something there between us. And the second time she said something about me seemed familiar. She did not remember why, but her soul recognized the bonds we shared. So I assumed that the next time she showed up, she would feel something even stronger. Or perhaps even have her memories. Despite having been let down again and again, I still held on to the faintest glimmer of hope. But when she appeared, she was someone else's wife. Oh, what voice did I give Jacopo? Hey, head maid. Get out here. I am right here, sir. Is something the matter? I figured you should get to know her as soon as possible, since you'll be spending a lot of time looking after her. Hey, get out here. Christ, there's not a goddamn confident bone in your body, is there? I'm sorry, I'll be right out. The first thing she said when she saw me was, "It's a pleasure to meet you." It's a pleasure to meet you. What I spent all that time waiting for. It was all for naught. It was all meaningless. In this era, she felt nothing at all for me. In retrospect, it makes enough sense. But for me at the time, that was the end. Morgana, cast me into darkness. Make me a formless being like you. I don't want to be here another second. I don't want to look at her ever again. Morgana, please listen to me. I'm begging you. Now, what's the matter, my dear? It's not like you to throw a tantrum. I can't take it anymore. I can't do this. Michelle again? Oh, you poor thing. Betrayed 3 times now. Morgana, you pitiful girl. Don't groan like you're having a bad dream, my dear. I am here for you. Please, Morgana, erase me from existence. If you go away, then I will be all alone. And that would be absolutely dreadful. But tell me, what torments you so, my dear? What? Michelle, whom I've been waiting on for so long, doesn't... Oh, you poor thing. You've spent so long riding the currents of time that you've lost sight of yourself. What? You've convinced yourself that someone else's story is your own. Someone else's? Yes, indeed. It was such a beautifully tragic tale you fell in love with it. It resonated so deeply with you that you felt their pain as if it were your own. What are you talking about? I wanted to tell you, my dear, but you are so convinced it actually happened to you that I couldn't bring myself to take it away. Then, what about Michelle? She is not the one you are waiting for, and you are not hers either. Then, what about Giselle? That is not your name. Then, who am I? Who are you? That's a very silly question. You are this mansion's cursed witch. I'm the witch. That you are. You are both the maid and the witch. But how? Do you truly believe that someone who has eternal life, who doesn't bleed when they're cut, and who can smile no matter what happens to her, isn't a witch? How much of this Giselle's memories do you actually possess, my dear? How clearly can you remember her life? You can't, can you? You don't know what kind of story Giselle and Michelle wove. And you wouldn't, because you are merely an onlooker. Much like you are now for this present tale. And by contrast, how much of the witch story do you know? You should know it very well. Yes, but that's because you... No, my telling it to you is not the reason. The details are rooted deep within your memory. Then I'm... That's right. You are the cursed witch Morgana. But you... I am you. Oh, look at this gaslighting. You split into two because you refused to accept who you were. Think about it. Have I ever shown myself to you? Have I ever shown myself to anybody? That's why. I am... Wait, could this be a split thing? I am the witch. That you are. I see. It all makes sense now. Everything has fallen into place. There's one thing I still don't understand, though. The story I was so enamored with, Giselle's and Michelle's story. What kind of story was it? I would be glad to tell you. You look like you're ready to know the truth. I believed every word she said. All my worries melted away like they were nothing. The sight of the white-haired girl no longer kicked up waves in my heart. In fact, I found myself wishing for her to find happiness. I was an observer, watching and hoping for the best. The tragedy that befell her did sadden me, but I felt bad for her like I would a character in a story. I brought you your medicine, Master. Thank you. Just set it down over there. Yes? What are you staring at? My apologies. I was simply musing about how much time had passed. I can hardly believe it's been 40 years since you were a bright young businessman. Wow. That's a jump. And you haven't aged a day. Why, thank you. I am a witch, after all. Well, I don't much care what you are. You could be the Grim Reaper for all I care. You still work harder than anyone else. May I ask... May I ask you a question, Master? What is it? Why have you not returned to your homeland? I thought it was a place quite dear to you. I can't wait for her back there. Do you still believe she will return? To a degree, I understand how difficult it can be to wait. Though for me, waiting now brings more joy than pain. With your lifespan, Master, it will be the pain that wins out. Perhaps you should consider letting go? Tell me, was her name really Michelle? Why, yes, it most certainly was. But why would you ask such a thing? Have you forgotten your own wife's name? You have waited so long that it would seem, like me, some part of you has begun to break down. You poor, poor man. You know, you look a whole lot more pitiful than me. Oh my! Oh, there you are! What has you in such a flurry, my dear? You are a noble servant. You must maintain your composure at all times. But the master... What about him? He was found deceased in his chambers. Uh-oh. The doctor just came out. He said it was his ailment, and it would seem the master knew his time was short, for he left a will, asking not to be given a funeral. I see. I feel kind of bad for him, though. Not only did he not have anyone at his side for his final moments, he didn't want to be sent off at all. Isn't that sad? It is, for the best. There's not a single soul in this world left. We could send him off. Oh dear. With your era drawn to an end, this mansion will soon return to existing nowhere in this world. I wonder what the next one will look like. I wonder if more misfortune will befall her once more. That would be quite regrettable. Perhaps, if I could convince her of her tragic fate, she would be willing to disappear from this realm with me. And if she wishes to fight that fate, perhaps she will become my next master. Calling her master seems inappropriate, but I cannot think of a word that fits better. I eagerly await the next era. Please do not keep me waiting for long, Master. Wow, man, Jacopo, that was bad. Just let off. Though he didn't help the whole situation, but to die alone. Everyone has a sucky ending in this. It's the witch. The Witch Morgana. Let me just compose myself, get a little drink of water. Let's see where we go from here. Time pressed onward, and then, at long last, you arrived. Oh, splendid. You have finally awoken. There's no one on that chair. I have simply been waiting so long for this moment. Tending to the mansion all by my lonesome. Ensuring it was ready for your return, Master. Whenever that time may be. When I caught sight of you through the window, my heart fluttered. The time had finally arrived. Oh my, you do not know who I am? Do you not know who you are either? That is quite the predicament. I think that, yeah, this is how she welcomed us, I think, at the start of the game. Nice roaring fire in the background there as well. Then how about this? I am a servant of this mansion, and as such, I am familiar with the many incidents that have taken place here. I shall show you the history of this house, Master. Let us be off then, and fear not. I merely entreat you not to let go of my hand. Should you hold it tightly, you need not worry about being washed away by the waves of history. No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand. So were we just a ghostly presence that whole time until we kind of materialised? No matter what happens, no matter what you see, never again let go of this hand. That is everything. Damn, man. I prepared a number of things to say when she was finished with her tale, but I can't imagine to put any of them into words. I almost hate myself for thinking it would be so easy, for letting myself hope I could simply pull her back to her old self, accept whatever happened to her, take her hand in mine, and that would solve everything. The truth is so much worse than I imagined. So much more harrowing. She was subjected not only to her own terrible fate, but every single one of this house's tragedies. The tales she told me are things she witnessed with her own eyes. How can I possibly blame her for forgetting me, for forgetting herself? After so many hundreds of years. No, I should be. Why? Why didn't you come for me? Why couldn't I have returned before she was so far gone? Why? Why did you show up now? Giselle. Because you opened the door to my memories, I now remember everything. But I didn't want to remember. I didn't want to be reminded of all those empty years, of the people who passed on, leaving me behind, of you who refused to show up no matter how much I begged. I'm not the Giselle you knew anymore. I may have my memories, but I cannot go back to that time. My hands unstained with blood, my soul worn thin. The girl who would laugh at the simplest things, who would tell silly jokes and wasn't afraid to speak her mind, doesn't exist anymore. That Giselle is dead. How can you say I'm the same girl? How can you say I feel the same way I did? How can you be sure that even now, I still love you? Can you deny the possibility that I no longer yearn for you, but the white-haired girl? Can you deny the possibility that my love for you has transformed into hate? She brings her hands up toward my throat, and I make no attempt to move out of her way. When her fingers brush against my skin, They feel as frigid as death itself, far colder than anything I have felt from her thus far. If she were to wrap her hands around my neck, she wouldn't even have to squeeze to stop me from breathing. This is the fork in our road. One word will decide everything. Oh dear. I don't have much time. I better save. At this point. I have to say something before the cold robs me of my voice. No. I wanted to deny it. She may have forgotten me, but what she felt still remains, as evidenced by her attraction to the white-haired girl, who had many physical similarities to me. Her feelings are still there. I sincerely believe that. But her arctic gaze caused me to waver for the briefest moment. Perhaps I only wanted to deny it for my own selfish reasons. It was only a few short seconds, but those seconds decided it all. Oh wow, I wasn't going to deny it. Did I deny it? I didn't click on it. Farewell, Michelle. She slides her slender fingers down my neck, then gently shoves me back. Giselle. I'm falling, sinking into my own darkness. I reach my hand out, but I cannot grasp anything. Her hand, the hand I held for all this time, is so far away. I try to shout, but nothing comes out. I can neither answer her original question, nor say her name. Down and down, into the infinite void. Darkness consumes everything. My voice, my hands, my very being, and her gaze. My consciousness slips away. Why? Why did I hesitate? I wish I could have at least told you that I still loved you, even if you did not love me. Oh, I screwed that up. Wait, there wasn't an option though. Are you sure you really wanted to let him go? Yes, I am sure. I see. I don't think I'll ever understand. If you hate someone, you should chain them down and torture them for all eternity. It was the perfect opportunity to trap his soul. I do not hate him. Oh, is that so, my dear? After everything you said, I simply assumed. I could never come to hate him. I could never want to see him dead or tortured. Oh, then why did you say what you did? I don't think you would understand. Probably not. I'm not particularly interested in understanding either. It doesn't matter what happened in the interim. In the end, nothing's changed, has it, my dear? You are still my darling, devoted maid. With enough time, you will once more forget your name. What a wonderful world this is. I think I messed that up. A moment of hesitation. Wait, I wasn't going to deny. What was I supposed to do? Deny it? I don't know. I felt like deny what? I was wrong. Oh wow. I messed up. Good thing I saved just before that. Right, let's do this again. I have to say something before the cold robs me of my voice. Right, just deny it. That's the only option. This doesn't feel right. Of course I'll deny it. While I was floating in the darkness, I heard a voice. Regrettably, it took me far too long to realize that it was your voice crying for help, calling for me. You may have lost hold on your old self, but somewhere deep down you kept calling for me, which is how I found my way here. I refuse to believe that isn't real. I refuse to stomp on a love that survived for hundreds of years. By all means, hate me. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I don't care if you spit bile at me for the rest of eternity. I will not let go of this hand, because you asked me not to. I could kill you right now. If that's what you want, then go right ahead. But I'll fight you with all I've got. Giselle. I've missed you too much to lose you again. I don't care if it makes you despise me. I don't care if you think I'm being inconsiderate. I want to save you. But I am not the Giselle you once knew. I am an abomination. My mind and body are twisted beyond recognition. I'm a disgusting monster. The woman you fell in love with does not exist anymore. So just forget about me. You are the one who should be saved, set free from me. You look the same to me. Your manner of speaking, your temperament, your physical appearance may all have changed, but you are still the same Giselle I love. You should never have done anything for a foolish girl like me. You gave your life to save mine, and I hated you for that. I never once considered how you felt with those knights pointing their blades at you, or what drove you to allow me to live. I should have, but I didn't. I was the one who trusted the witch, and yet I complained when you never showed up. I unfairly resented you for it. I'm a horribly self-centered person. You'd be much better off with someone pure and unburdened with all this nasty suspicion and doubts and animosity. You'd be so much happier with someone like her. Giselle. You've been paying attention, haven't you? You were there for all the tales I told you, for everything that has happened up to this moment. So you should know just how loathsome a woman I am, too weak to even keep herself together. No, Giselle. I'm nothing compared to her. Giselle! See, you haven't changed one bit. You still get louder and louder the more you lose your temper. Why do you feel the need to compare yourself to her? Because she is a better match for you. Giselle, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. I'm so sorry for keeping you waiting. And all I want you to believe, and I want you to believe me when I say that I dearly missed you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted you back, and that has not changed. I believe me. I love you. I missed you so much too. She leaps into my arms and she's just as cold as ever. Her warmth-deprived body feels like the embodiment of all my mistakes. I wrap my arms around her, and I'm immediately filled with unparalleled relief. even as she sobs into my chest, her body cold as ice. And then the darkness parts. We are once more at the top of the observation tower. It's still shrouded in a miasma of shadows, but we're back in the mansion now. We have emerged from the darkness in our heart. Michelle. Oh, Michelle. Yes? I'm sorry. For what? I never should have erased you from my memories. Yours are the memories I needed to hold on to tightest. I was so glad to hear you say you still loved me, even after learning the truth about me. Thank you so much. I'm incredibly relieved. As I watched, it felt like you were slipping further and further away from me, Giselle. It terrified me. Maybe it makes me a coward, or pitiful, but I was truly afraid of you coming to hate me. I would never hate you, Michelle, ever. Thank you. We must leave this place. What? It would not be wise for us to remain here long. The air is still thick with darkness. But the front door won't open, and even if we could get out from somewhere, what would happen to us? We finally found each other again after so long. I want to share a quiet, modest life with you like before. What if that all disappears when we step outside? After all, we are... She doesn't finish, but if I feel like I know what she was going to say. We're different now. She's stepped far outside the bounds of mortality. And the same could be said of me. I am, the man known as Michelle, is long since dead. The mansion itself does not follow the rules of nature either. As beings no longer in possession of their proper forms, stepping outside these walls could very well mean the end of us. I can't say what might lay in store, but we must return. Even though by staying here, we could be together for all time. I don't imagine that would be a very happy life. There is no sun here, no chirping birds, no trees or breeze to rustle the leaves. If we stay here, the nothingness will eat away at us. We have finally retained our old selves. We need to take action now while we can. What if I want to stay here? Then I'll drag you out. It's almost like we switched places. Back then it was you who wanted to stay. It's also kind of funny hearing you speak favourably of the outside, and especially the sun. The words, "That's all thanks to you," are on my lips, but before I can say them I find myself hypnotised by her smile. That smile has picked me up so many times. She claims it's her only redeeming feature, but if she didn't have it, my life would have gone in a very different direction. I'm grateful to have gotten that back too. Say, we're in the middle of a very touching reunion, wouldn't you say? I mean, yes. I suppose so, yes. And wouldn't you say there's a certain way these things usually go? Huh? Are you really going to make me say it? I was, hoping you might perhaps kiss me. What? Love you, Michelle. What? Okay. What? Oh, seriously, what? Where did all that boldness from a second ago go? What happened to all that momentum you were building? Yes, about that. I think that might be more appropriate later. Later? How much later? After we find an exit. We're, in a hurry. You're just making excuses because you don't want to. I swear that's not it. Giselle, let's save that for when things aren't as crazy. I can't relax and enjoy it right now. What are you, 12? I love this for a domestic argument. This is brilliant. Oh, hush. Alright, fine. But you'd better keep your word. Got it? Promise. Let's go then. Let's find our way out of the mansion. There, our frozen town should begin moving again. That's hopefully where our future waits. It will be. No, we'll make it so. Yes, we will. If we leave the mansion, it should release our souls as well. And in doing so, should finally provide her deliverance. So I mustn't hesitate. To end all of this, for both of us, we must start again. This is where we... Uh-oh. They forgot about the witch. What? Darkness. It's a blackness purer than anything I've experienced in this house. Not a trace of light anywhere to be found. Why did I ever think the house would let us go so easily? Why did I ever think our time in the darkness was over? Michelle! The darkness surges through the open door like a wave, flooding the observation tower, like ivy growing wildly to cover every last inch of every surface, consuming, defiling, and eroding. Our fingers slip apart, and concentrated rancor rains down upon us. Ah, how hideous a world this is. Oh, is that the witch? No, Michelle. Please. Don't let go of my hand. Don't let go, Michelle. Grab it. Giselle! Michelle? I said I would never let her go again. I said I would get her out of this place. I swore I would. But as hard as I try to stretch, can't reach her hand. Help, Michelle. I can't move my body. I went out of my way to give you a beautiful tragedy. So why must you so stubbornly insist on this ugliness? The more you struggle, my dears, the thicker, more palpable your filthiness becomes. And sickening. Wouldn't you agree? She's always spat her bile with a song-like cadence, singing like a little girl, chirping like a morning bird. She celebrates misery, and she watches for the worst possible moment to let out a cackle. Morgana! Has she taken form? She's taken semi-form. I swear you two are hopeless. I pity you. I give you my deepest condolences. Let go. Let me go. Don't take me away from him. Giselle. The darkness seeping into her grew thicker by the moment, and its black tendrils weren't just wrapped around her, but me as well. Stop this, Morgana. Let her go? Wow, nothing more original. I need a devoted puppet to protect this mansion for me, so I can't give her up, not even at your request. Besides, why should I give back something you threw away? Something you abandoned again and again. What are you talking about? You still haven't figured it out, my dear. Or are you just feigning ignorance for your own convenience? You always did like to withhold anything that might prove disadvantageous. Michelle? Giselle, give me your hand. Reach harder. Reach as hard as you can. Grab my hand. I can't do it. It's like I'm tied up. I can't move at all. Good. She's right there. She waited so many hundreds of years for me, finally managing to reclaim herself, and she's right there. So why can't my hand go any further? Why can't I reach her wrist, her hand, or even a strand of her flowing hair? Why can't I get her back again? Michelle. Damn it, witch. Her voice is growing fainter, more distant. The darkness shrouds her, taking her away from me. Her arms, her fingers, the hands she led me with, her smiling face, her once glowing grin and her now more modest smile. The witch's darkness is stealing every last bit of her. Michelle. Mate, are we supposed to do something like click on her or something? I don't know. Stop, please, don't do this. Take me instead of her. Why? Why does it have to be her? Why her? Morgana! Uh-oh. Why? Because your work is done, my dear. By all accounts, as the one who resurrected me, you should have become my guide as well. But you let a silly woman emotionally manipulate you, and you gave up on cursing others. And then you threw away your life, deluded into thinking you were protecting her. Morgana, you already gave up the position once. Don't think you can just walk up and ask for it back. Set Giselle free. I'll do anything you ask. If you need a puppet, I'll be your puppet. If you want more from me, it's yours for the taking. But I can't leave her to remain in this cursed house any longer. You certainly have let your obsession for this girl take its toll on you. I much preferred the old pessimistic, cynical Michelle. It wasn't until I met Giselle that I truly became human. She made me into what I'm supposed to be. I can't lose her again. Is that so? Well, you'll come to the harsh realization soon enough that everything you saw in her was just a facade. It was not. All right then. If you want her back so badly, you can have her. But in exchange, I want you to entertain me. Will you endure maddening agony for me? Will you know pain enough to make you howl? Will you face despair? Again and again and again. If you need her that badly, you can bear anything, can't you? If that is what you want from me, if that will allow her to see the sun once more. Brilliant. Uh-oh. Wait, Morgana! Morgana! As you wish, foolish boy. I was looking for a way to keep busy anyway. So I'll use you to kill some time. Find your way to me, my dear. Find your way to me without going mad or succumbing to despair. And do hurry. or she might lose her mind again. Those memories you forced her to relive. Those hundreds of years she spent locked away in her shell. All that fear that ate away at her. It's a bit much to have to reflect on with a clear mind, wouldn't you say? That's why I need to be there for her. Why I have to get her out of here. That's my obligation to her. You're the one who let go of her hand, though. You can put a broken cup back together, but the slightest tap in the wrong place will shatter it again. Morgana! The witch's cackling fades into the distance. My outstretched hand is completely enveloped in the shadows. I can't even make out the faintest outline of it. And I can't tell if I'm sinking, floating, being pushed along some invisible stream, or falling with incredible speed. Damn, man. You just thought that things would be like, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. It's like, nope, which is like, I'm not having any of this. My eyes are open, but they can detect nothing. The complete lack of sound is almost painful. Nothing, anything, anywhere. Void. My consciousness begins to drift. Vague remnants of the feeling of her hand in mine are my only link to reality, my one and only landmark. Giselle. I must get her back. She waited, endured for hundreds, no, almost 1,000 years. And now it's my turn to act. I have to hold that resolve, hold it firm, so that I never forget her again, so that I never lose myself again, even if I'm consumed by the darkness. You must never back down. You must never look away. You must never lose her. Damn, man. The house, in fact. The story behind the story? What? What? Achievement unlocked, The Maid's Tale. And I so want to continue, but I actually think that this is a prime time to leave it there on a total cliffhanger. Holy crap. Yes. Wow. I kind of duffed it up there at one point where I didn't know I was supposed to deny it. I felt like denying it. I thought the point was to acknowledge that we had kind of screwed up in a sense and caused her more pain by not being able to help her sooner, but apparently I had to click on the deny button, so. But wow, the plot thickens, it carries on. Giselle and Michelle were about to escape. Maybe they should have kissed. I was hoping for that. Michelle's like, no, wait, let's do that later. I was like, no, maybe do it just now. I did like that little argument they had about it, though. But the witch then swoops in and separates them out again, and now Michelle has to suffer something unbearable. Probably similar to what Giselle, well, I don't know if it'll be the same, but similar to what Giselle had to suffer. Almost 1,000 years of yearning for him. My God. Anyway, this is really good. I am thoroughly enjoying this. I hope whoever's watching this is too. This is The House in Fata Morgana. I am Ash Mannix, and I'll hopefully see you guys next time. Bye bye.